Welcome to Retirement Ramblings. I'm Scott, and today is day 232 on my countdown to retirement. So, today, even though my voice doesn't sound like it, I am feeling considerably better today than I have for the last several days. So, good enough that tomorrow I'll be going into work. But I've been in such a fog this week due to the head cold that I actually wrote a check to my son and daughter-in-law for their first anniversary, put it in their cards, mailed it off, and then when I was sleeping last night, it dawned on me I didn't have any money in the account that I drew the check on. So first thing this morning, I got up, logged into my money market, and transferred the money over into the account that the check's drawn on. Oops, the check's drawn on, so that it wouldn't bounce the check, because that would not be a good anniversary present. And then I put an order in for my 17-week T-bill. And the auction went off today at 11 o'clock, and the competitive results came in at 11:30. I was able to get a 4.360 investment rate, which is up from the last 17-week T-bill rate that went off at 4.318. Excuse me. And then I worked from home today, since I'm, like I said, still been in a fog. I took out some snow crab for dinner, let that thaw out, defrost for a couple hours. And then at lunchtime, I went to my grill to fire it up for making a skirt steak for lunch. And I looked down at the propane tank gauge, and it was empty. And I had a half a tank in there last night. And then I realized when I made the steak last night for dinner, again being in a fog, I never turned off the burners. So I burned through a half of a tank of propane last night. The only good part about that is the grates now are clean, because everything that might have been stuck to them has been, burned off over how many ever hours it took until the tank went dry. So I ran over to Tractor Supply after I got done with other things I needed to do, and filled up two tanks. And even though the price marked there was $3.49 a gallon, the price had dropped, so I actually got charged $3.29 a gallon for the propane. Then I stopped by Publix on the way home, because they started their sale today for porterhouse and T-bones, and I found two reasonable porterhouses, and most everything they had was T-bones, and I really wanted the porterhouse. But I got two decent. One was like a 2-pounder, and the other one was a little over 1 pound, that my wife and I will split. So I picked that up, and then as I was walking out, I paid for it, bagged everything up, walked out, got to my truck, and then realized I didn't pick up the receipt. So then I went back inside, and by that point, the receipt was already gone. Actually looked in the trash that was adjacent to where the checkout counter was. It wasn't in there. I don't know why somebody would want my receipt, but because it doesn't have any financial data on it. So anyway, again, another in the fog moment. And then when I checked my mail later in the day, email I should say, I got a note from my dermatologist highlighting some facts about skin cancer. And I've already got my annual screening set up for October of this year. But in case you don't, and you don't even maybe you don't think about getting skin cancer screenings, which I highly recommend on an annualized basis. But here are some of the tips and facts that were listed in the email that he sent me. 1, skin cancer is the most common cancer in the United States. 20% of all Americans develop skin cancer over their lifetime. About 9,500 people are diagnosed with skin cancer every day in the U.S. Skin cancer can affect anyone regardless of your skin color, and more than 1 million Americans are currently living with melanoma. So get checked. And then right before I sat down to do this update, I saw an article from CNBC that was actually referencing the Wall Street Journal. And it was about Buffett and the reason that he actually decided to step down from being CEO of Berkshire Hathaway this year. And, you know, he said he was finally starting to feel old. And this is a quote. I didn't really start getting old for some strange reason until I was about 90, he told the Wall Street Journal in a phone interview. But when you start getting old, it does become, it's irreversible. And so Buffett, who turns 95 in August, revealed to the paper that he started to lose his balance occasionally. So that's why you saw him with a cane at the shareholder meeting, while experiencing issues remembering someone's name sometimes, and also his vision turned less clear when he's reading newspapers. And again, another quote, he said, I don't have any trouble making decisions about something that I was making decisions on 20 years ago or 40 years ago or 60 years ago. I will be useful here if there's a panic in the market because I don't get fearful when things go down in price or everybody else gets scared. And that really isn't a function of age. Anyway, I just thought it was funny that he wasn't feeling old until he turned 90, which I think is a darn good run for not feeling old. Because most people I know feel old way before they ever hit 90. They're lucky to get into their 60s and not feel old. Anyway, then a buddy of mine texted me, and his wife turned 60 23rd of this month, but he wants to have a party for her this weekend. And so he asked me if I would be available at a certain time, which my wife and I would be. I've known him for almost 40 years. And, we go meet them at the restaurant that he wants to take her to. But he's trying to coordinate it with a bunch of other people. And so I haven't got the confirmation back that it's actually going to be at this place at the specific time yet. But if it is, that's what I'll be doing on Saturday. So we'll see. And then, tomorrow, because I have a one-on-one with my boss, I will definitely be driving into the office tomorrow and find out any new information, about my job or whatever that comes up. Anyway, that's my update for today. If you have any questions or any comments, please leave them in the comment section down below or drop me an email at myretirementramblings@gmail.com. Otherwise, I hope you have a great evening, and until tomorrow, take care.